For our upper body progress and focus, this is going to be addressed slightly differently. There's going to be a lot more variety and less attention to progressions when we get into the upper body. The lower body is more about stress across similar movement patterns. The upper body is more about different angles and different varieties, just because there's more things that your upper body can do. As such, the feel of the movement, if you will, becomes a lot more important. In a very general sense, our goal in our push movements is stretch. So gravity is going to take me down to the end range. It's not too difficult to find the end range, but the goal is to allow it to take me to a little bit more end range. Very common for people in their push-ups to end right here. This is no good. I've got so much more room left to play. If this is too difficult, well, I can always just walk it up or use less weight or use a few less reps. All of our pushing movements tend to lead to tightness. So if I get very strong in the front here, I'm going to suffer by being too tight and have restriction as I try and open up. So we essentially use gravity and the resistance of that to open up those tissues and give us new range. You're going to gain strength here, of course, but many of these are designed to increase your mobility and access to different parts of your shoulder. For our pull movements, the goal is to squeeze. Lack of efficacy in our pulling movements tend to lead to just overall weakness and muscle imbalance. So we have to spend a lot of time squeezing up into that very difficult upper range to try and restore some balance to the back, where it's very easy to be strong in the front. The goal above all else between these things is to get strong through a full range of motion. So I'm pulling to get there, and I am pushing to stretch there. In this case, gravity is against me every step of the way, so pulling to that end range and hanging out there is very tough. Whereas the pushing movements are quite simple to get there because gravity is doing all the work for you. Balance, strength, and range of motion in your upper body both leads to better strength outcomes, but also to postural outcomes. Less shoulder pain, and just more range of motion without experiencing a tweak as I go someplace that I can't really get to effectively. This will also have downstream impact, as if I reach up overhead, I'm clamping down on my low back. Better overall balanced strength and shoulder health leads to both better shoulder outcomes, but then also those postural and low back outcomes as well. Shoot me a video for a form check anytime you have questions.